Hello, I hope you're doing well. I just want to point out that I've been sitting here for 2 minutes and 29 seconds just saying hello over and over again in different ways. And that's the one that I'm gonna go with. Anyways, this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm gonna show how I set up my Hobonichi Cousin daily pages. And more specifically, I'm going to show how I cut up my pages so it's kind of like a Dutch store style. Let me find an example. Usually when I'm traveling or if it's just like a special week, I typically cut up my pages like this so it is narrower, and this serves a few purposes. Number one, it kind of groups all of these pages together so I can kind of like visually see that this is a special week and all of these days are kind of tied together by some theme. In the case of February 4th to February 8th, I was traveling. And the other purpose is that usually if I'm traveling or if it's just like a busier week for whatever reason, I tend to have less time to sit down and journal. So this way I just don't have this like gigantic, daunting blank space facing me every single morning. Anyways, this is very simple to do and I don't even know if it requires a video, but I thought I would just show you the process. And for this week, I'm gonna do a fun theme using several sticker sets. This is a sheet of duck stickers that my friend Diana gifted me, and it is from Mo Doodles. This one I already used early in the year, but I think it matches really well. And this is by ᴘᴏᴅᴜᴜᴜᴜ. And then this one, I unfortunately don't know where it's from and I lost the backing page. So if you do know, let me know. And then these are some washi samples that Diana gifted me as well. And I pulled out a bunch of washi tapes. All right, so to give a little context, it is currently Saturday morning and I just found out yesterday that my friend is surprising me with a visit. I kind of knew something was up, so it's not so much a surprise anymore, but I obviously haven't really planned for it for the next week, and I feel like we're gonna have some maybe like hikes and stuff, so I probably won't have as much time to journal. They are leaving Monday morning, so that is the context behind why I'm cutting this up. So sometimes when I do these cut up pages, I don't do anything special with the area that is shown after you cut off the sides. Hopefully that makes sense. You can just see my regular to-do list and regular writing over here. Other times, for example, this was my trip to San Francisco, you can see that I purposely put deco stickers on the side. So no matter how I flip it, you can kind of see some fun indicators of what this week is going to be about. So those are just like two options that I wanted to share. So for this week, even though my friend is coming today, they are arriving probably around like 8 p.m. So I feel like most of today is going to be pretty much normal. So I'm actually going to leave today as is. And then they are again leaving Monday morning. And I feel like the rest of Monday is going to be pretty normal as well. So I'm going to leave Monday alone. That's just kind of my thought process, and you can definitely cut more or cut less. So we have 3 pages in between to cut. If you have a thin cardstock or like a cutting mat, I would use that here. I'm usually too lazy, so I grab whatever is hefty enough. This is just a envelope, and I always cut from the left side, and that is because I want to ensure that I keep the heading over here. Obviously you can measure it, but this is just an easier way. You don't have to be super exact, but just to let you know, I cut off 5.3 centimeters. This is a very small detail, but I like to leave just a little bit of the square showing on the edge. This way I can write to the last square, but still have that little white space, which I feel like looks really good. Next step, this is optional, but I like to round my corners. I got this corner rounder from Amazon many years ago. It doesn't match the roundness of the Hobonichi Cousin pages. This one is much rounder, but it doesn't bother me too much. I do want to look into getting a smaller corner rounder though. Anyways, you can definitely round 2 pages at a time, but I just did it one by one. And then with the strips that we cut off earlier, I'm just again using my X-Acto knife to trim out the date headers. I'm definitely not too precise with this. I don't mind that the borders are slightly uneven. I'm also going to keep the rest of the strip in case I want to do like a tip-in or some ink swatches or something. I don't know. All right, we have everything ready. Now we are going to paste in the dates. So starting with the 17th, I'm gonna use, again, just like a scrap piece of paper or something. This is the Tombow Mono Dots Adhesive Tape Runner. And I'm going to try to run this as close to the edge and corners as possible because I don't want the corners like popping up. And that is why I like to use a scrap piece of paper underneath. Usually if I'm too lazy, I will just use my tape runner against the journal page itself, but sometimes I accidentally go over and adhesive gets onto the journal, which is not great. I try my best to align the lines of the box with the grid of the Hobonichi Cousin so it all looks really seamless. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so this is all set up now. I'm gonna do a little bit of decorating just to kind of set the base. I just realized I didn't pick out any markers, so let's go do that. Okay, I picked out a bunch. Not sure I will use all of them, but it is good to have options. I usually have a full to-do list every day, and even though my friend's here, I still have things to do. Maybe it won't be as much as usual, so I definitely still want to create a to-do list every day, but it'll just be a little bit shorter. And I'm basically going to turn my Hobonichi Cousin to the side and make a to-do list at the bottom. I'm just using various markers to make a swatch for the header, using my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen to write on the subheadings. I meant to write down work and life, but I was just thinking of to-do lists, so I wrote to-do instead of work by accident, but I just kind of went along with it for the rest. Anyways, as you can see, I'm going nuts with various stickers and washi tapes to decorate the pages. This was definitely time consuming, but especially when I have a busy-ish week ahead, I find that if I get this all done out of the way and I'm not faced with a blank slate every morning, I just become more inclined to actually journal on those days. I think decorating with stickers definitely took the majority of the time, so I don't really know what else to talk about. I guess I'll just clarify that I don't cut down my pages every time I have a busy day or a busy week. And it's also not every time I have a blank space in my spreads. I'm totally okay to have some empty spaces and sparse pages, but I more so do this for special occasions where I can kind of group all of these days together by some exciting event like traveling or, in this case, a visitor. My friend is staying for more than a week, so I currently don't have all of the pages for this group filled out yet, but I will just insert a little clip of a flip through of the pages so far. Alright, I think this is it for this video. It is definitely still very sparse because obviously we're not at these days yet, but once it is filled out, I think it'll look really cute, and I will definitely show you the final pages when they are done. Hopefully this video was somewhat helpful and maybe gave you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye!